What are different ways to worship Lord? Is it traditional pujas or even acts like pranayam or worship to God? Are the Supreme Lord teachings equal for everyone? No one is exception, including his own son. What is the knowledge which Lord is talking about in this Adhyaya? What is the best form of offering to the Lord Krishna or to your favorite God? How will you find eternal peace? Find out how the Yadava dynasty, the Krishna's clan, has come to an end. Welcome back to Narratory. We are in the continuation of the fourth Adhyaya. So, all of us know that yajnas were performed to please God. Did Lord say this is the only way to please God? No. Back then, thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna told us that worshipping God has many ways apart from the religious way we follow. Back then, even in those days, Lord Krishna says people performed yajnas in different ways. This does not mean doing homam or religious pujas is wrong. The Lord has only told different ways. He says some yogis perform yajna, some offer their sacrifice by offering their senses to me, some yogis offer their prana, that means the breathing, to me. Oh, this doesn't mean they'll stop breathing. They breathe in a controlled manner. Pranayam. Most of us do this today. How do you feel after doing pranayam? Lot of peace in your mind, right? So even a simple act of pranayam, which we don't know is an offer to God and we are doing unknowingly, Lord takes us as a prayer for Him. While referring books, I came across one of the author who referred five senses as devas. Okay, this is not a part of Bhagavad Gita. I'm just telling you what the author has to tell about these senses. So, if you're controlling your pleasures from any sense organ, you're offering it to God. The author says eyes for fire god, ears for space, nose represents earth, mouth for water, and skin represents air. Do you know eating a measured amount of food, which is fasting, is also an offering to God? Yeah, fasting doesn't mean keeping your stomach empty. Even in Ramayana, the great sage Valmiki explains the process of fasting, which Rama does before performing a yajna. There are so many things in our tradition which we have been misinterpreting, right? You ask anybody today about fasting, and they'll say you it means you shouldn't eat a morsel of rice, you shouldn't eat anything, you should just keep yourself hungry all the day and wait for the sun to set, thinking about food all the day. You know, fasting means being close to God. He never told keep your stomach empty and then pray me. And you'll not be also, because all your mind will be about the hunger, even unknowingly. So that is the reason we should know about the great books like Bhagavad Gita. Have you ever thought that? I'm sure most of us would have not even guessed that these are the things which are there in Bhagavad Gita. In Shloka 33, Supreme Lord says, of all the objects which are offered as sacrifice of knowledge is the best. And all the karmas which we do will also come and stop in knowledge only. Krishna asks Arjuna to meet the wise and get knowledge from them. Today's education has changed so much. Teachers are not regarded with respect. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells how should one behave while gaining knowledge from Guru. He says students should have due respect, dedication, commitment towards what they learn. You have to question in a right manner, but only to learn. Even science also does this, right? How do scientists discover new things every now and then? Exactly, because they question about what's happening. Like they question about things which they don't know. They don't question you or me, they question in their minds. And then they try to find the answer, which leads to eventually a new discovery. So the questioning should be genuine with correct sense. You should question to learn new things and not to test your teacher. You know what happens when you question not to learn but just to make fun of your teacher or to test the knowledge of your teacher? Then listen to the story. This is the story of Lord Krishna's son Samba himself. You can find this story in Vishnu Purana, book number 5, and it's also been told in Mahabharata in one of the Parvas. So it goes on like this. Once few sages, including Vishwamitra, Bhrigu, Durvasa, and others, come to visit Dwarka. And after they do this, they'll go to Pindraka, and in this place, few princes in Yadava dynasty, along with Krishna's son Samba, decide to play prank on them. They wanted to test the knowledge of these sages. So they dressed up Samba as a pregnant woman and went to the great sages. They asked the sages that this pregnant lady wants to know whether she'll have a boy or a girl child. It is said that the sages were enraged and cursed them, saying, "Fools! She will give birth to an iron club which will destroy the entire Yadava dynasty." Just as the same club came out of Samba's belly, the frightened princes went to King Ugrasena, who ordered them to grind the iron club and throw it into the sea. Eventually, this has led to the end of the whole dynasty. So basically, the moral of the story is, just as Lord Krishna also told, that one should have respect towards the knowledgeable persons. Let it be your teacher, let it be your career guide, anybody. So if the person has knowledge, try to gain the knowledge from them, but don't try to test them. And that is why in shloka number 34, he advises Arjuna how he should visit the Jnanis and gain knowledge from them, offering them due respect and by questioning to learn and not to test them. So, which knowledge is best? Or let's say, what is this knowledge which we have been talking about since the starting of this Adhyaya, which Lord Krishna has been telling about to Arjuna? So, this knowledge is knowledge about self and the Supreme Lord. One should see all the things in himself and understand the fact Supreme Lord is present in everything in the universe. You should be able to identify one's unity with the rest of the world and the whole world with the Lord. This type of knowledge will make us free from all the fears, all the stress in mind, and gives us eternal peace. In Shloka 39, Lord says that person who has won over his senses or who has learned how to control them, and the one who is consistently practicing them with full faith in God will get this knowledge about who he really is. That means self realization should be there, and such a person will understand the Lord and will reach the state of calmness with peace in mind. Lord Krishna says that an ignorant person or a doubtful person will never gain this knowledge and will never find peace, neither in this world or in any other world. Please like my channel, subscribe and share this content if you like it, so that many people like us get benefited from the great Bhagavad Gita.